fighting, especially in solos, is something I have struggled with a lot. I've tried a ton of creative maps in the hopes I will improve, but just found my fighting to never improve to the point where I can just get more kills and be a good solo fighter. But after a ton of testing and research later, I have found the best fighting routine in the world. Fighting is one of the most important skills in Fortnite. It's what separates good and bad players, and most of the time will be the difference between you being a few points of qualifying to the second round of a tournament and not being able to qualify at all. Think back to any tournament where you've just been a few points of qualifying. Have a look at your game. I bet there's at least one or even 2 or 3 games where you died in mid-game. The chances are you died because you're just a bot. I'm only joking. The chances are the player was just a better fighter. But today, I'm going to give you the best fighting routine in the world. Genuinely, if you want to become a good fighter in Fortnite and win every single mid-game fight, whether that's in tournaments or just get more kills in arena, you need to try out this routine. It's worked for me. It has literally been insane. And I promise you, if you try this out for at least a week, you will see your fighting improve at a massive rate. I literally saw improvements in the first couple of days of doing this, so if you are looking to get better fighting, at least give this a shot, because I promise you, in this video, we're going to show you the best practice routine, help you become a better fighter in no time. Now, the first map I want to warm up with and get into is this one here. You've probably not heard of this map before. It's super underrated. I wanted to try and avoid going down the super popular maps and give you new maps you've probably never heard of. And this is definitely for a lot of you a map you probably haven't heard of before. I know it says medium, but don't worry about that. Just go into it and I'll explain everything when we're in. Right, so as soon as you load in, it should look a little something like this. Right, so I really want you to understand this because this is true. If you want to become a good fighter, what you need to work on is the fundamentals of Fortnite. Because to become a good fighter, you need to get super good at the fundamentals of Fortnite, and that's what we are mainly going to be working on in this practice routine here. You want to go straight over to the building one here. As you can see, I've come to building. It will look something along like this, and you just want to run all the way to the end, which is over here, and you've got to see the free build section. Now, what we're going to start off with is a little free build about 5 to 10 minutes long. Everyone always tells you what you want to be doing is editing as quick as you can, building as quick as you can, hitting these mad like quad edits or whatever you hit in when you free build. But realistically, when in game are you sitting there hitting a quad edit? Probably never. I don't think I can even think of a time I've hit a quad edit in game. So when you free build, rather than doing some crazy quad edits or whatever you do stuff that you're actually going to do in game. Let me explain. So rather than going like this, going crazy, doing some like mad flicky creative retakes like this that you're never ever gonna end up doing in a game, instead just do simple movements. Just go through, do actual like boxes, box like this, come up above, make boxes, do actual edits that you might do in game, and you'll see a massive difference to your actual fighting ability when it comes to editing in game. Because there's no point in practicing stuff that you're not actually going to work on. So instead, I just recommend practicing actual stuff you might work on in a game and different edits you make. Just take into consideration when you're next in game what you're actually doing. Take into consideration some of the actual builds you make, some of the edits you make, and then just start doing this in your practice routine, and you'll find yourself doing the edits much quicker and much more efficient. So a lot of the time you'll find yourself sort of boxing up. So practice your boxing ability, practice stuff like this, practice going for piece control from the side, even use your shotgun, practice right hand peeks and stuff like this, things that are actually going to be useful to you in game. The goal here is to master the fundamentals of Fortnite, not become a super quick editor. You can focus on becoming a super quick editor once you've become a really good fighter. Players like Noah Rayleigh and the top fighters like Veno, first of all, they've mastered the basics of the game, the basic edits you need to make to be able to win fights. Then, once they've mastered that, they practice on speed. So this is why you see all these people telling you when you go to create, you want to free build as quick as you can, because what this will do is it will improve your edit speed massively. But that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to master those fundamental edits that you're making in the game. Once you've free builded for about 5 to 10 minutes, I usually come over to the tarping and I just tarp to the end and back like this. I just make different tarps, just practice going through, making multiple boxes, just like so. And you want to practice just being able to make lots of boxes. This is the goal here. We're getting good at that defensive box fight sort of playstyle and making these edits here, because even when you're looking to piece someone up in game, you're going to be making these edits. So let's just practice trying to get into the swing of making edits like there. Now when I'm on the way back, I like to go into my box, reset builds and stuff like this, just like you would in game. Let's say someone's chasing you, you're making loads of boxes, you need to get back into your box, reset the edits, come through. Just practice doing this as quick as you can. You may mess up quite a bit at the start, but once you get better at it, you're going to be able to do it super quickly, and you will see a difference in game, because I regularly find myself having to come through my box, reset builds behind me, and do tarps just like this, where I'm coming up the side, looking to make new boxes, coming through here, resetting builds behind me, and just practice doing this, and you will find your boxing skills in-game will become much better. Now, once you've done that, we've obviously got high ground retakes. We don't need to do this. This is a creative warrior thing, so we don't really need to practice. 180s, I mean, you can practice 180s if you want. I mean, I think everyone kind of knows how to do 180s, but realistically, if you're not very good at them, then all means practice them, because definitely they can be helpful in-game when you haven't got much mats and stuff, but I mean, 180s and 90s, I think everyone kind of knows how to do the long round 90s, metro 90s, and side jumps are not really regularly done in game. Side jumps you can practice if you want to. I tend to just carry on over this way. 6 layer, I don't do 6 layer or 8 layer, because again, they're creative warrior things, and we're looking to practice fighting here. Now, this is the first thing I actually do in this section here. So what you want to aim for is to be able to kill the bot in the quickest time possible, and it practices your aim from long distances. Practice trying to hit the targets, because if you hit the targets, you'll instantly one-shot the bot. So I usually do this just until I feel like my aim's warmed up. If I see myself missing a ton of shots, then I'll usually just keep on doing it until I see myself hitting most of my shots in this. I mean, obviously with some of these further away targets, it's not as easy. Nevertheless, once you're hitting shots regularly, I then like to move on. Now, I used to do this, but it's actually been broken recently. You literally cannot edit this or you can't destroy it. So I'm just going to move on straight to this one. So with this one, what you do is just want to go through as quick as you can. It's practicing those main edits you make of making a wall edit, and then a ramp edit, and then resetting the cone. This map here definitely is a good one to practice, so I would recommend that. Here is, I'm pretty sure it's like some sort of death run thingy, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not looking to practice a death run for my fight. This one here, it's like some tarping thing. We're going to ignore that, and we're coming over to this set. Now, the first edit we're going to be practicing is this one here. So what you want to do is edit the cone and then double edit out. So this is like, let's say you're holding your wall in a fight and someone is in front. He's maybe took your wall or something. You need to be able to flip your cone quickly and double edit out as quick as you can. Sometimes when I'm doing this, I like to practice just holding my wall and then just double edit up and get out as if you would in an actual game. And if you keep practicing this, you will become much better at double editing out when someone takes your wall. You often have to do this in game, so it's definitely good to practice. Again, this one's very similar in the fact that you need to edit the ramp like so and then edit up. Just as if you would in game. Let's say you're holding your wall, you've got the ramp like this, you need to flip it and edit out quickly. So definitely I would recommend practicing this one, because again, it's quite quick to do, and it's always a good skill to have in your locker if you want to be good at editing out in fight. Now the next one is actually just mainly practicing triple edits. I mean, sometimes you do these in game if you're looking to get height or something, so it's always good to be decent at triple editing. I like to try and practice both sides as well when I'm doing it, so I would definitely recommend that. Double edits, I mean, I feel like we all know how to do double edits. If you do struggle with double edits, you could do it, but I mean, for me, it's not really a problem. This one I actually like quite a bit, because what you need to do is double edit up, edit down, and then edit the wall. And sometimes I like to try practice resetting behind. It makes it a little bit harder. So if you are a better editor, definitely try practice resetting the builds behind you, just as if you would in a fight. But if you're not so good at it, then definitely just do it as it is. Now this next one here, this is just like the better version of it. What you need to do here is you need to edit the wall, floor, and then there's also a ramp as well. And again, like I said before, if you are a better editor and you can do it with ease, practice resetting the stuff behind you, just as if you would if you're being sprayed or something in a fight. Now, this one is just a floor and ramp one. It's fairly simple skill, to be honest. Practice going for both sides as well. Don't just focus on one. Focus different edits as well. Just try and practice edits maybe you're not so good at. If you're messing up a lot on an edit, then practice that. And try and make some of your weaknesses strength. Here, this is to practice like different edits. Like so, try and do it in the shortest movement possible. Try and just be able to run and do it. Not mess up, hopefully, like I did there. Boom, that's complete. This one here, I don't do it because I use scroll wheel reset. So for me, just running through this is just like super easy. I don't need help with that. But maybe if you're slow at resetting cones, then try it out. This next one is like these towers where you edit up and then have to edit down. This first one, it's very basic, really. If you're already good at just like this movement of editing cones and resetting it, you can skip to the second one. But for me, I usually skip to the second one. But if you're not as good, then definitely do this. Once you've reached to the top, what you want to do is just edit down like so. Just practice trying to edit down as quick as you can. And again, like I said before, practice different edits. Don't just strictly limit yourself to one edit. If you're really good at one edit, don't just sit there doing one edit like so. Practice trying to do harder edits for yourself. Make it harder. Practice trying to make it harder for yourself. Don't just strictly do one tile edits up. If you could do one tile edits up super easy. Practice doing 2 tiles and practice editing the cones in different ways and stuff like this. Just try and make it harder for yourself. Just push yourself out of your comfort zone when doing it. I mean, this one here is just fairly simple. It's just a tower. Add floors if it's too easy for you, like I'm doing here. But this is just kind of practice editing down as if you would. Now, we've kind of finished this map. There are aim sections here. I mean, they're not really the best. This one here is literally broken. And these tile things aren't best, so I'd probably just skip these and go on to the next map. The next map I would recommend is Mechanics Training Map V3. I know I said I didn't want to talk about maps that are kind of known by everyone, but this map truly is such a good map. This map is best for improving your peak, so if your peaking is your biggest weakness like mine, this map will be a lifesaver for you. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on this map because I think everyone kind of already knows quite a bit about this map, so I'm just going to sort of speed through it and show you all the main good things to do. So the first thing I'd recommend is targets. This one is so good, and what you want to do is just want to practice doing edits you would in game. Practice just trying to get good mechanics here. You don't necessarily have to do it too quickly. Just go at your own pace, whatever's best for you. Practice doing good peaks as well. That's what I would recommend, just like you would in game. There's no point in going super quick. Our goal here is not necessarily to improve the speed of our mechanics, it's to improve at how good we are at doing the skip. So for me, I'm just practicing things like right hand peaks, going at a slow and steady pace. Obviously go at what's best for you, but practice doing good right hand peaks, window edits and stuff like this. I mean, for a lot of you, I would recommend slowing down your fighting massively. So many people are just like edit super quick, and a lot of the time it's going to get you punished in game. So just practice and this, slowing down your mechanics a little bit more, just trying to do things more efficiently and smartly, like taking good right hand peaks than trying to be super quick and flashy mechanical. Because all that's going to do is improve the speed of your mechanics, not how good you actually are at fighting. So what it'll do is it'll just respawn you again. So I would recommend just going through them all. Do them all about 5 times. Each scenario is different. Like this one here, you can see I've got edit up. And then just practice trying to do things as if you would in game. You don't need to be super quick, super mechanical. I know it's creative, you've got 0 ping, and it is good to be super quick and mechanical, and it does feel nice, but in game, you've just got to think, you don't have the 0 ping that you do to be able to pull off all these triple edits that you might be doing. Once you've finished all these different scenarios, I recommend Piece Control X Peak Training. This is honestly so good. You can do it on normal or hard. I don't do it on hard because it genuinely punishes you the best. So what you have to do is you're given a range of scenarios. You just need to piece control the bot. Now, every time you do a bad peak, so let's say I open up this edit here and I peak too much, the the bot is gonna hit me. So this way you'll know exactly every time you do a bad peek that it was a bad peek. Just practice trying to do good peeks here. Even if sometimes it means you're hitting the wall like I am, just try and practice doing peeks in the best possible way. Now, one mistake I make a lot in game is I stand too close to the wall. So try not do this, because a lot of the time you're gonna end up hitting the wall. So try and stand that off a little bit. Practice coming through, piece controlling from different angles, and just not getting hit back from the bot. Once you've finished doing piece control x peak training until you feel like your piece control and peaks are good, I would then recommend coming over to box fight training. Make sure the health is on full. I mean, you can either do a flat 3x3 or high ground, low ground. And then I usually do 3 targets like so. And then you'll be put into this little box and you can just sort of practice your fighting against the bot. Try and avoid getting hit by them at all. Try and just piece them up from a distance and just take good peeks on them. Use that peek training that you did before to practice trying to get good peeks and avoid taking damage. This is great practice, especially for things like duos, when you're fighting multiple opponents, being able to deal, take good peeks, all while trying to avoid getting any damage back to you. Just keep in mind that every time you do take damage in some shape or form, you have made a mistake, whether it was a bad peek or whether you wasn't aware of your surroundings for the other bots. Just keep in mind, you want to be aiming to take 0 damage when fighting all 3 bots. And when you can do this successfully, you can move on and you can fight 4 bots or even go up to 8 eventually. This next map is genuinely a map I love. We're going towards the aim training sides of things now, going and stepping a bit away from mechanics. With this map here, aim plus mechanics, genuinely this map is insane and you will love it once you start playing. So now I am inside the map. If you need to pick up loot, you can go over here. They've got things like the pistol, the Maven auto, whatever loot you're trying to improve on. Now the first map I go into is this one here, 1v1 aim duel with bot. And the way this works is usually you'll start a 2-minute timer, and what I like to do is do 2 minutes with each weapon. So with the shotgun, I'll usually do about a minute using just the shotgun on its own like so. And then for the last minute, I'll usually do the shotgun with something like an AR or the pistol. And just practice being able to shotgun and then switch over to like my AR or my pistol or something. And then get in the rhythm of being able to pump your opponent, switch to your AR to try and finish them up. After about 3 to 4 AR bullets or round about 4 to 5 SMG bullets, you want to be switching back to your shotgun. So the way it works is, let me fire my shotgun, fire 3 AR bullets, and then you can switch back to your shotgun again. I'll show you again so you can see it. So you fire your shotgun, fire 3 AR bullets, and then you can switch back. So try and practice being able to fire 3 AR bullets and then switch back. And if you could do this, you'll be able to fire your shotgun pretty much instantly, and this will be massive in game for damage, because obviously your shotgun does a lot of damage. That's why they add the delay on it. But if you could get in the practice of firing just 3 bullets and then switching back, you will be able to get a lot more kills by doing it. Once the 2-minute timer is over with the shotgun, I usually go over to AR or pistol and just start doing AR only for 2 minutes, and practice just being able to use my AR without zooming in, or even my SMG if I don't have a pistol. If you want to improve your SMG aim, then grab an SMG. But a lot of the time I've been taking pistols in game recently, so I'm mainly going to be focusing on improving my pistol aim. Take whatever you use in game. If you're using pistols in game, then obviously take a pistol. But if you're using SMGs and you don't pick up the pistol, then there's no real point in you trying to improve your pistol aim. So grab the loot that you actually use. So once you finish that, I usually come over to shotgun aim with movement 360. And once I'm in here, I will first of all use the thunder, and I'll go through all 3 of these scenarios. I'll go through the 40-second timer, complete this. This one actually gives you a score. As you're hitting the targets, your score here will go up. So as you can see, it's on 12. And it goes up to 13. That's only for the 40-second timer one. What you want to do is hit as many targets as you can in that 40-second time frame. A good score usually to aim for is about 50. That I usually get anywhere from about 50 to 55 when doing it. So if you can get in the 50s, that is a great score, and you've definitely got good shotgun. Next, once you've done that, you want to start the 2-minute movement timer. And what it'll do is it'll send these out. They did actually used to damage you. They don't anymore though. And you just want to try dodge them and jump over, or go to the other side if it's one like that, and practice being able to move around and hit the targets just like you would in game. if you're in game, you're not standing still doing this with shotgun. Let's be honest. You're moving around, you're making edits, you're not just staying still. Once you've finished the 2-minute timer, you then want to go and do the 1.5-minute timer, followed up by doing it with the Maven, doing all 3 of these again with the Maven. I know what you're thinking, it's gonna take forever, but when you really think about it, this is literally 4 minutes. You're spending just under 5 minutes on each shotgun. In total, you're spending 8 minutes on both shotguns, and you genuinely will see a massive improvement with your aim in game. Now, once you've done that, I like to do the piece control one again. I mean, it's very similar to the other one, so you definitely don't have to do this. But again, I just like to practice being able to make those good edits and just practice going up. Don't do anything quick. Don't try and be really quick and flicky and fancy. Don't go and try going edit down, like triple edit into a 1 pump on the bot like this, because you're not doing that in game. Just practice going down, taking piece control and doing smart angles like I'm doing here. There's no need for you to try and do things really flicky and quick, when doing things really flicky and quick most of the time is going to get you killed. Unless you really have managed to master the fundamentals of Fortnite, a lot of you need to start slowing down your fighting. If you're finding yourself dying a lot in game, slow down your fighting. See what I'm doing here? I'm not doing anything quick and flicky and fancy. Realistically, if I really wanted to, I could start doing something like this. Really quick, fancy, flicky edits into the full piece or something like that. But there's no need for me to go straight in 50-50 the bot or something, because a lot of the time doing something like that in game is going to get you killed. So practice piecing him up, taking smart angles, and just eliminating him as if he is an actual player in game. Practice trying to piece the bot through window edits. This is something you'll see all pros do, and a lot of people, when they're looking to piece control, they'll run up to the wall, they'll make a big right hand peek, and they're doing this, and then they're trying to like run out. And honestly, if you're doing that in game, a lot of the time you're gonna get yourself shot. So practice just trying to do smart piecing through windows and stuff like that, because genuinely, if you're piecing through windows in game, a lot of the time you're going to be able to get so many free pieces on people without them even being able to get any return damage back on you. Now, there's only one more map I recommend, and it's this one, headshot only box fight with the Thunder. A lot of people already know about this map, and so many people just aren't playing it. Genuinely, this is the best map, and if you play this every day for 10 minutes, your aim will go crazy. I remember there was a time where I was just playing this, I was going in game, and all I was doing was hitting max damage on people. Play this every day, and genuinely, I promise you, you will hit so many more max damage shots in game. Now, once you've loaded in, it should look a little something like this. There'll be up to 16 other players in your game. You may have to wait like I'm waiting here. But the way this works is round 1 will begin. You go through this portal, you're given a thunder pump. I mean, I don't really think I need to explain this too much, but the only way you can kill people is by headshotting. Every time you hit someone in a body shot or someone body shots you, you'll see your health regenerates like that. See how my health regenerated just then? That's exactly what will happen if they body shot you, and the only way you can die is by headshotting someone, and everyone is a one-shot headshot, so it's not like you have to hit multiple headshots to be able to get the kill. I personally recommend playing this for about at least 10 minutes a day to really see the improvement in your aim. Some people are genuinely crazy at this, like people only hit max damage, but my biggest tip for this map is to take your time with your shots. Don't go rushing in. Don't just sit there and go spamming your shotgun like this, going all crazy, because you're not going to hit many headshots, and if you're doing that in game, a lot of the time you're going to find yourself missing more shots than you'll hit. So my biggest tip is take your time, line it up on your opponent and hit the headshot, and you'll see yourself hitting a lot more one pumps, not just in this but in game as well. So take your time with each shot, you'll start doing it more in game, and you'll get much better at hitting one pumps. Boom, that is the fighting routine. Just like that, we have managed to complete it. We work mainly on things you're doing in game, so we're working on mechanics, but the mechanics we're working on are genuinely things that are going to help. And then when we're working on aim, we're mainly working on our shotgun aim. You can do some more maps if you're struggling with AR. Definitely do some of the AR things in aim plus mechanics, or you can even do some of the aim things in that first map I told you about. But mainly a lot about fighting you're going to be in a lot of close range fights, so practicing that close range aim is really crucial, especially with your shotgun. The goal of this really is just to get those fundamentals of the game, mainly your aim and your mechanics, to the best you possibly can. Not necessarily really quick and fancy and flicky like you see all the top tier pros do, but just get it to a point where you can just dominate arena games, drop easy 20 kills and kill like 90% of players. Once you get your fighting to a certain standard, then you can look to go really quick and flicky like you see all the pros do. That really exciting gameplay you watch them do. But a lot of people are trying to imitate these pros. They're trying to do what they're doing, the really quick, flicky play styles, and they're finding themselves just not being good fighters at all. So there is definitely a point. All those fighters you're seeing have worked on the main principle. They probably were really, really slow, and then over time they've managed to build up this play style, which is theirs now, which you're trying to copy. But the only other thing I recommend you doing is watching pros. The best way to improve your fighting is watching the people at the top and copying what they do. Don't try and do things really quick and flicky like they're doing until you're a much better fighter, but have a look at some of the edits they're doing. Look at the ways they pick up kills. But mainly the best thing I recommend is the way they replay is. You can't really teach someone to replay is. It's really, really hard to do. It's kind of something that comes with experience and understanding. So that's why I recommend once you do this to hop in arena for like a good 10, 20, 30 minutes. Just look at the way people play, try and predict them, try and predict their movements. Because fighting sense is something you can't really work on by being taught something. You kind of have to go out and learn it yourself. So definitely play at least half an hour of arena a day if you possibly can. But that routine will work on making sure your aim and your mechanics are at a standard where you're going to be able to kill most people in game. But then again, the last thing to do is when you go into arena and you take damage, every time you take damage, in the back of your mind, you need to think, what did I do wrong to take damage there? Was it a bad peek? Was it missing a shot? Was it missing an edit? And whatever it was, go in creative and work on that thing straight after the game, and the way your fighting will go up is just exponentially. Work on the principles of fighting, like aim and mechanics, because that's mainly what fighting is. Step away from all the fancy flicky stuff for a bit until you can build up your fighting to a certain level. Watch pros, see what they do. Don't try and copy that fancy flicky stuff, but just see what they're doing in terms of edits and look at the way they peek. How close are they to the window? What do they do when they're on a cone? What do they do when the opponent's in a corner? Just look at different things like that. Really focus on the way some of these top tier pros fight, because when you really dig deep into it, you'll see how good they truly are and the way their mind thinks, and you can start implementing some of these things into your game. And lastly, I said to improve off your mistakes. Every time you take damage or die in Fortnite, you've made a mistake, so try and figure out what your mistake was. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. If you did enjoy, a like would be greatly appreciated, and please subscribe. I'm currently on the road to 1k, so a sub would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, if you did enjoy this video, you may like this video on screen now.